That's just great. I'm your host, Eric Salas, back with another episode of this podcast. We do not have Matt on the show today for this particular episode, just because, obviously schedules don't align sometimes. And, but we're going to get him back on the show at his latest convenience. You know, he loves doing the show and I love doing the show with him. And I know we're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about when he comes back, but there has been some things on, my mind that I've been wanting to just like say into a microphone and just pick it up and do it. It's just kind of something that you show, like you push to the side that you want to do, but then as the days keep going by, you're just like, dude, I could have just like said something for a quick 30. A quick 30 is something I say to Matt, like if we're kind of busy, or if the time's not the most convenient, I'll always say like quick 30. But like I always figured like I could do like a quick 30 like on my own if I have something to say real quick, But I remember when I first started doing this show, if we go back to like the first 3 episodes, I think I did them by myself. I didn't mind doing them by myself. But obviously I wanted to get Matt on the show, and like he's been great whenever he's been on here, and he's a great co-host to have on. And, someone to like go back and forth with is such like a good thing. And if obviously if the vibes are immaculate with your boy, which Matt is to me, then like obviously you'd rather chase that more than not. And so, obviously if you've seen, we haven't uploaded a show in a while. It's because I wanted like to get him back on the show, but obviously like, time differences and, scheduling conflicts, that happens, and then time passes by and you try here and again and there, and it doesn't work out. But I figured, saying some stuff like on my own also isn't a big deal either. I think I originally intended for the show to be, I do episodes by myself every now and then I would have Matt on and like whenever he could, and obviously that turns to an every week thing. And then when you realize you're not really used to it when he's not on, that you kind of stray away from thinking about doing it by yourself. But we're here now, and it's just something I wanted to do, and I feel pretty good about it. But we'll get Matt back on here as soon as possible. Moving forward, though, let's jump into the episode here. What's been going on? What's been happening? I just watched Dune 2 recently. Man, that's a great movie. I had never I don't think I caught on to the initial Dune when it first came out, but the hype for this second one, when I was on TikTok, all over the place. And then I believe just a few days after it came out, I've already seen like edits. Like, you guys know edits on TikTok where like they'll make one of like Timothy Chalamet or like Zendaya or like Rebecca Ferguson or something like that who are in that movie, and like with music, and it kind of gets you like hyped up a little bit. Honestly, I get the whole edit thing. I get it, dude, because it just makes you look so cool. And sometimes you wish like an average person like yourself can get like an edit, like low key, like with Timothy Chalamet, when they show like they have like the quick scenes and the edits. With the music in the background, you'll just be like, damn, I wish I could look as cool as that guy. Like you just kind of wish you had your own little edit there. Maybe one day you could do it on your own, right? I think so. It doesn't look as cool if it's like a movie scene or something like that. Yeah, but that was going around, and the movie is absolutely sick. If you guys haven't seen it already, won't spoil anything here, but it's just one of those things with these movie franchises. And like, I'm aware Dune is the actual book has been around for a long time, and I know like that book inspired like Star Wars, and this is just the stuff I've heard after watching both movies in a short amount of time. I watched the first one on Netflix before it got moved to Hulu. Not that probably matters to any of you guys, but I remember I saw when I was in the mood to watch it. It said I only had like 24 hours left to watch it on Netflix, and I didn't know where it was going next. So I'm like, I have to watch this now. And I'm glad I did, because I jumped right into the second movie while it's in theaters, catch it while it's there. And like I was saying before, just immersing yourself into like a sci-fi film is so sick. Like in terms of like the lore that's involved with it, like you might not understand all of it. So, but like, even just like I'm fully immersing your brain into it, like even that you don't understand it, and it's just to be in that world, like in your head, is still a cool thing to do. Because I know like a lot of people these days want to watch movies and everything kind of like has to make sense. I'm that way too. But in terms of like the language that is spoken in the movie, and then like, the creatures that are here and there, it's just like, immersing yourself into like a fantasy experience. I think it's great because you can kind of just sit there and enjoy it rather than having to like obtain everything like you're seeing, or like retain it, I should say, is the better word. Speaking of which, dude, TikTok's taken like all my attention span away from me, because here's the thing, right? I think we've all fallen victim to of it, a slight bit, but. And like, I'm not the greatest at watching movies or TV shows. It kind of takes a lot for me to do it, especially finding new ones. Like, you know, like we've all been there. We go on Netflix and then you just like scroll through thinking you're going to find something to watch, and you don't watch it until you actually do watch it. And then after that, you hit the ground running with it. But when there's days I can't bring myself to do it, I just hop on TikTok. So I'm just watching that, and it just makes me realize how much I can't sit down and watch anything for more than a minute. That doesn't that sound so upsetting? So upsetting. But the thing is, TikTok's so entertaining. It's so entertaining. There's so many things on there that have made me laugh. Like, things I've sent to my friends on the app, things that I've been sent. It's just like, there's so much there. But I think I'm getting back in the groove of watching things. Just a tad. I feel like Dune helped me out a little bit there. It made me realize that, hey, there's a lot of good freaking movies out there. You should probably just go watch it. I'll take any recommendations at this moment. I do have a couple things written down in my other part of my notes app that like say movies to watch and stuff like that. Honestly, I think I'm just scared to not like something. Like I think I just want to hop into a movie and like there's no way for you to know that you're gonna like it. But have you ever gotten like movie recommendations and it's just say the Rotten Tomato scores is high and even the person that's recommending it loved it, and then you end up like not liking it as much? That's also a bummer. So it's just kind of like, you'd rather just leave it in your own hands, but you also don't want to disappoint yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't want to watch a movie that you're like, all right, I finally found one, let me go watch this, and doesn't end up being good. It kind of sets you off a little bit. But what I have been on TikTok to bring this all together a little bit, and then I want to get into a little bit more of Dune. I've been on like movie TikTok and stuff like that. And the fact that, and I know like these guys specifically have accounts for movies because they're watching so many at will and at once, and that they're open-minded to it. So anything that comes their way, they're just going to watch, and they'll just say if they like it or don't. That's pretty respectable. Because I'm just saying, when you come home on like a Tuesday from work or something, and to put on something that you don't know you're going to like is a wild concept to me. And I know there's a bunch of you out there, including myself, haven't done it in a while. I'm trying to stray away from doing it. But unfortunately, I've fallen victim to that a little bit as well in terms of watching comfort shows / comfort movies. Becca and I, my fiance, we just watched Infinity War and Endgame, the Marvel movies, the Avengers movies. They're fantastic, dude. And they're absolutely, and it's just something that you throw on, it's going to be good. And again, if your brain is just like not in it in that moment, why not throw on something like that? So, nothing terribly wrong with that. Obviously, people do that with The Office. They do it with Friends. Like, I know I'm not the only one who does it, and I feel kind of sad saying it because there's so much to watch out there. But yeah, hopefully I'll hop back on the saddle with that. But back to Dune for a second. Yeah, dude, I've been thinking about this for a while. I don't know if anybody's been saying it. But the drip in Dune is insane. What they're wearing in Dune, like all the main characters, on top of that, the Bene Gesserit people, if you haven't watched the movie, the headdresses and everything that they have on is so drippy, dude. It's just it's something I want to walk out in public and wear that. And to be honest, here's what I've been thinking. This is going to be a very random thought. Kanye, I don't know if he's still making clothing or if he obviously has like people to get him clothes. Whether he has or he hasn't yet, if he watches Dune, he's going to pull inspiration from that. And I'm just going to say this right here. I had the idea first. I went into that movie theater. Obviously, everyone thinks it's, like a really great movie and it's making a lot of money. The entire time I'm sitting there, I'm just like, I want to dress like that. And by the way, I'm not like a fashion guru or nothing. Look what I'm wearing right now. If you see this video, if it ever sees the light of day, I'm wearing a brown shirt. I'm wearing black pants. Can't really see that. But, I enjoy getting into not fashion in a sense, I guess just like dressing medium well. You know what I mean? If that makes any type of sense. I bet it doesn't. Like, here's where I'm at in my head. If I were to wear like a shirt or like a button-up shirt, or like if I get like a great outfit and I go out in it, or say to a bar or hang out with friends or something like that, like a big group of friends. I just saw a home run on the Yankee game. Yanks are back, baby. Who just hit that? I'm trying to see the name. Oh, it's a number. Oh, it's Verdugo. Alex Verdugo. Yeah, Yankees are back. Anyway, yeah, big baseball guy. But no, I'm saying like if I went out in public and say I took pictures in it and like the outfit I'm in, I want to like discard the outfit and just get something totally new for the next time. And I fell into that a little bit where I'm just like, oh, I wore this one time and I have pictures in it. I can't wear it. I don't know if that's a weird thing for like a guy to think. I don't know if other guys think that way in a sense, but I don't know. I just want to keep everybody on their toes, have something new to wear, or like something to show off, or like a combination. Like, you ever save outfits too? Like, you're like something you bought that you like want to wear, but you just got to hold on to it just a little bit more until you find the right time to actually wear it. I've done that plenty of times. But yeah, I want to wear the Dune drip, if you will. I want to wear that around. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought the way they dressed was cool. If you haven't seen the movie, go see the movie. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking Timmy, and like Timothée Chalamet obviously did a great job in that movie. But then when he has like the cape / like the hood and like all, like, oh my God, it looks so good. So good. I want to step out in public wearing that. I'm sure it wouldn't be great in terms of your body temperature, obviously, but either way, it's, like you risk what you can to look your best. I'm a big look good, feel good type of guy. I don't know if a lot of people feel that way. I feel like I entered a phase, like a little minimalism phase back in the day, not too long ago, where I just bought a ton of black t-shirts and black jeans and felt the need to just wear that and wear like Air Force Ones, Converse, Vans, and just not even think about what I'm going to wear. Not thinking of like that millionaire mindset type thing where you're just like, you don't think about what you wear. I just felt as though you just didn't want to think about what I was wearing, I guess. And I thought it's just like, it looked fine enough, like, all black, this and that. But then after a while, when you do wear something a little different, you realize like you kind of want to chase that feeling where it's like you feel good when you leave the house or apartment or wherever you live. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Enough with the fashion situation, because I'm not a fashionista in the slightest. Not in the slightest. I'm the most bland dressing person ever. But however way I could tweak it day to day, figure it out. Another thing I've watched recently is Avatar 2. Very late to the party, and I've actually been like an advocate for Avatar for quite some time, like leading up to this second movie. And I know they just rebooked for or they just booked another 3 more of these movies, so there'll be 5 total, and who knows what other spin-offs they'll end up doing if they even do that. James Cameron, the director, he's pretty much gonna be working for the next 10 years consecutively just on the Avatar story. But no, I watched the second one. It was on Disney Plus. I watched it. And yeah, I liked the 2009 movie. I thought it was dope. But yeah, my fiance Becca and other people I've spoken to, her family and just the general public, don't think Avatar is the greatest thing of all time. I thought it was great when I first watched it. Funny thing, I remember I still had a flip phone at the time. I watched the first one in theaters. I went with my dad. And I remember I'm watching it. And I went into it not knowing what I was going to see. And I went into it not knowing how long it was going to be. So I was checking my flip phone, and I'm like, I've been in here for 3 hours. But nevertheless, still entertained by that movie. And the anticipation for the second one was huge, I know. It was just around the time where, and it still kind of is the time where I'm not crazy thrilled to go to movie theaters these days. I just haven't. And it's been like that forever. My dad used to get tickets to go to movies, and you just go. It's no decision is made. You just go, and if you like it or hate the movie, it is what it is. But now getting your older self to go, it's a lot of thought thought involved. Unless it's a movie I desperately want to see. Like when I going back to Dune, when I watched the first one, I immediately, like, the movie was out already in theater, so I immediately wanted to go watch the other one. And I did. And it was well worth it. I watched it in IMAX too, dude. IMAX is loud. I'm 26. I just turned 26. And sometimes I feel as though like I'm like an older person. It's like if they could just turn it down a notch or two, you know what I mean? Like other people have to feel this way with IMAX, right? Like we're talking about Timothy Chalamet's on the sandworm, and like just hearing like the sand hitting the speakers like with the wind. I was just like, all right, we could flip it, like turn it down just a little bit. I don't know. I'm already deaf as it is. Like I have the worst hearing of all time. I've gotten my ears cleaned out, like of wax, like maybe 3 times in the last 2 years. No bueno. And even I think it's too loud. But I don't know. That's what I get for watching an IMAX. But again, I keep hearing about like, you know, Oppenheimer and like Dune or movies you're supposed to watch on IMAX. So I'm like, all right, if I'm getting that as a recommendation, then why not do it? I'm just saying it's a little loud. It's a little loud. But back to Avatar. Yeah, I watched the second one. I watched it at home by myself. Becca was out at that time at Pilates, if you want to get specific. Yeah, so that gives me the time to watch it. I don't think she was at Pilates, actually. Not to get into details here. I think she was out to like a dinner. So I actually had the time to watch this 3-hour movie. I think that's how long the second one was. First of all, it's like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like just in terms of like visual effects, absolutely fantastic. And on top of that, it's almost like nostalgic because I haven't seen the first one in so long. So it felt even better to watch it. So add those two things on top of each other, obviously equals great movie. I don't think everybody enjoyed the plot of it. Again, not going to get into it. I'm not a movie reviewer or anything, but I enjoyed it. Like if I sit there and I think I enjoyed it, then I enjoyed it. I feel like I don't have to give too many reasons why about it. But it is like a very beautiful movie to watch. And it's another movie, again, you just immerse yourself in that sci-fi. You're just like, if you don't, like, again, there's a language you don't know about, you're reading some subtitles, and it's just like, it's just like feeling a part of it, I guess. I don't know why I'm struggling to like discuss this. I feel like it's a lot easier to explain than I'm making it out to be. But I'm just saying, no, you just fully immerse yourself in that world. And I feel like that's how you enjoy life a little bit. You know what I mean? Not everything needs to be understood. But Avatar, thought was dope. I've been on the Avatar ride in Disney with Becca and her family as well. Awesome. So, and that definitely like urged me to watch it a little more. If you guys haven't been on that ride, or if you haven't seen that ride, pull it up on YouTube or something. It's absolutely fantastic. And I recommend everybody do it, even though it's like the longest wait for a ride of all time. Dude, waiting in line for rides is dreadful. Dreadful. Obviously, it depends who you're with to make it like, you know, like the best experience you can. But like, we're talking like, I don't have the greatest knees in the world. I don't have the best back in the world. So just staying there a little bit and then just being like, just thinking about like how long, just it's here. Here's my point here. When you're online, put that together. The fact that my body's breaking down as a 26-year-old, and then watching the line go up and down, like, you know, like you get to the end of, like, you get to this part of the line, then you turn around, like, it's where the ropes are, like, you know, and you loop, like you snake across, like, you know, you snake down the line, and it's just like knowing that there's probably no end in sight. But again, you know, payoff's great and everything like that. But man, what I would do to just rent out a park one day and just I only need to chase that feeling once, you know, not having to wait in line and just getting on a ride that you know is normally long and that you want to get on. I just need to do it once, just to like, and as many times as I want, get it out of my system in a day, and then I'm back to waiting online. Everybody can have their fun again. I just need to have that feeling. But anyway, and on top of that, Disney, you're walking like 1 billion steps like a day, so I'm sure that really adds to it. But yeah. Moving on here. What else do I have written down that I've had on my brain for a hot minute? Oh yeah. So I work in New York City, and I take the train every day, and on top of that, I take the NJ Transit like train, and then I take the subway train to get to work. And so you see a lot of people in that time span. And what I've been experiencing is people who like sneeze, dude. Like people, and I know like it's very random to say this, and I'm not sure where it's actually going, or if you think where it's actually going. But here's what I have to say about the sneezing thing, right? I feel like for me, as a man who sneezes, like everybody in the world, I feel like I kind of hold it in when I sneeze, and I've heard many times before that you're not supposed to do that because it's not really good for you. I actually remember seeing this like a horror story, like not really, but like I remember reading this like news article that came out, and somebody, because this is just like insanity to do something like this. When somebody sneezed one time and they would hold their nose and sneeze, and it's just like, where does this, like, there's nowhere to put the sneeze. So I think they're like trachea or like larynx like exploded. Apparently it's like the worst pain you could ever feel in your life. I don't do that. Obviously I'll sneeze and then like hold it in, and then like I'll give like a big exhale or whatever. No way I'm ever holding my nose sneezing in the slightest. But yeah, for the people I've experienced seeing in public that sneeze, they just let that thing fly, dude. Like, it's 2024. COVID happened a little while ago, strung on for a little bit. And obviously, like, if you, like, even if you were, like, sniffling, like, wearing a mask, like, people would, like, look in, like, your direction and be like, what's good with that guy? But, like, but there is a lot of people that just let the thing fly, like, in public, too. Like, I know holding your sneeze in isn't the greatest thing to do. Probably not good. It probably took 5 years off my life. 5. But I'll gladly subtract those 5 if it means I'm not sneezing in public to the point where I'm screaming. And that's my point here. If you like do like the like that kind of sneeze, I hate you. Like, I physically hate you. Get away from me. And on top of like the actual noise being annoying / scaring me, I'm now like just annoyed at you like as a person for something that you involuntarily did. And I just hate that. Listen, not that it just feels like you want the attention, okay? If you're sneezing out loud and sneeze screaming, you're asking for the bless yous. I know that's what you're doing. I could see right through you. You want people to bless you. And by the way, there's rules to sneezes. I don't know what people, the unwritten rules are for everybody else, but for me, if you sneeze, you get to bless you. If you sneeze again, you're not getting another one. Sorry. And I know a lot of people are more lenient with that, but not me, okay? Some people will give a second bless you, not me. But a third sneeze, I'm not saying bless you. I don't care if you're having the sneeze attack. Not doing it. You get 1 max from me. Sorry. That first bless you carries over to the second bless you. And that's what it is. And that's how it's always going to be. Sorry. And by the way, I'm not one of those people either that has the sneeze attacks. I wonder what like the most sneezes like in a row is. I think I've seen a video on it before, but I'm at least something I've seen in person. I feel like I've seen like 4 and like maybe 5. I doubt I've seen 5. I think 4 maximum I've seen. But even then it's like you only get 1 bless you. Maybe 2 if it's like a good day. Like, it has to be a really good day for me to bless you twice. And I have to like you. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be, you know? That's such a stupid thing to say. Because if there's somebody, even if they're people I like, I'll still only give them 1 bless you. But again, the stars have to align for that too. For me to give you a second bless you. But yeah, like, again, I'm not one to do like the sneeze attacks. But one time I was in the shower. After I got out of the shower, I sneezed 3 times. And I had an existential crisis. I'm like, what is going on with my body? Has never happened in my life. A first time in my life. And sometimes, like, you know, like as the days go on, you don't really realize what you haven't checked off as a person. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about like a bucket list in terms of traveling and, you know, certain activities you haven't done. I'm talking about just like a bodily thing that I've never seen. Like you know yourself at a certain point. Been on this earth for 26 years. Didn't think I would ever sneeze 3 times because I never have. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I had that, and even in my head, like I didn't want to bless myself 3 times. So just putting that out there. I don't know if anybody else has that rule for sneezes, but that's my rule. Okay, you get 1, and if you like, and listen, if they're the most normal 3 sneezes of all time, so be it. If you're screaming on all 3, the sneeze screaming on all 3, Come on, bro. You need to get it together. I'll happily say this. I'm proud that I hold my sneezes in. What I'm not proud of is that if it was a blatant sneeze, I'd get a proper bless you. But I feel like since it's such like a not the most normal sneeze you could ever have, people are unsure if they should bless me. But honestly, that's okay to me too. Like, you don't have to say anything to me. If I sneeze, like, it's whatever. And I'm not going to get into this either. Like, what is the origin of bless you? You know what I mean? Like, where'd that come from? Obviously, that's something we just like grow up with and we like adapt to because it's what other people do. But like, where does it come from? Seriously, like for real. I would Google it right now, but I'm not going to do it. I might do it after the show. I feel like I've read on that too at one point, but I couldn't even pinpoint what exactly I read and what answer I could give you for that. Really don't know. And I don't think people sit around and ask that question too often either. Because we just do it. Question everything. Sometimes it's exhausting to question everything, huh? Sometimes things are just is what it is. And that kind of refers back to the whole Dune Avatar thing. They are what they are. If you like them, you like them. As for sneezes, I can hate them. I can hate them. Especially if you do them more than twice. And let's not get to twice. But I'm proud to not sneeze as loud as everybody else. Keep it low key. Keep it low key. And I don't know if that's something weird that I do that not everybody else does, but I don't know, man. That's just something I tend to do. Let's move on here. Okay. So back to Dune again. Wow, what a big Dune episode we have here. I've been on Twitter, and I pretty much live on Twitter at this point in time. I was strolling through Twitter and saw this guy named Mac that watched Dune. I think he's at 22 times currently. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, hop on Twitter, type in Mac or Mac Dune, something like that. This guy will post a tweet with like a GIF or something like that saying he's going to IMAX to watch Dune again. Apparently he watched the first Dune like 200 times. And I think that's combined with like theaters and like streaming at home. And, you know, and that's just numbers under the table. But last thing I've seen is that he's watching IMAX since the movie has come out 22 times. And even further, since it's gained so much traction, people were asking if this guy had like proof of ticket purchase. And guess what? He replies to those tweets with proof of the ticket. Guy's not playing. But here's another thing, right? As much as you want to be like, oh my God, that's so crazy, and like this dude's like on a generational run of watching these movies, you got to be thinking the same question I'm thinking, right? How many times could you see a movie and not even like sit at home and watch the movie? Go to the theaters and watch that movie. How many times can you consecutively do that, you think? Think about that for a second. How many times could you sit there and watch a movie in theaters consecutively and not get tired of it? It's a legitimate thing to think about. Because think about it for a second too. Like, even if you're... Just think about the last movie you've seen in theaters and how many times you went to go back and watch it. I could think of a couple. And again, I did this with my fiance, not by myself. I don't know what this guy's Mac situation is. If he's taking people with him or he's just, hats off to him. I don't think I can go to a theater by myself and watch a movie. Don't think I could. But I remember I watched Deadpool with Becca. We may have gone back to the theater like 5-6 times. It's weird to say that out loud. But when Deadpool first came out, I don't think she knew what she was getting herself into. She was just like aware of the character, but it was like a rated R movie of a character that is like, like has the funniest jokes out of like probably any superhero ever, or just a hero story, I guess you could say. So we went and watched it. We loved it. We thought it was funny. Went back and watched it a few times, and did a couple things differently. Like one time we got like dinner, watched it, got AMC food, watched it, and I don't know. There's just that itch. I guess this guy Mac has like double the itch of that. I would say the other thing is when Guardians of the Galaxy 2 came out. Me, Becca, and her family enjoyed that movie very much. I think we went back and watched it probably 4 times. So I don't know. I get the thrill of it. But I don't know if I could ever reach 20 times. Like think about a movie, and I'll take even theaters out of it. What's like a movie you've watched, and how many times have you seen it? Like the most amount of times without getting tired of it. I don't think I could tell you what mine is. But do you ever get tired of that movie? I feel like at one point or another, you're going to get a little tired of that movie. And it's going to ache you out a little bit. And you're not going to want to watch it for a while. And I've had that feeling before. And it's great when you get back to it. But really, sit there and think about it. What movies have you watched over and over and over again that you haven't gotten tired of? I don't know. And it's unbelievable that movies have that effect on everybody. But shout out to this dude back, man. Again, Dune 2 is fire. So who knows if he's going to go over the 200 mark that he did for the first movie. But who knows? Another thing I wanted to talk about. My favorite compliment on Twitter right now that people leave in like comments or like just social media in general, like Instagram and everything. When dudes see a pic of a girl, and most notably currently it's Sydney Sweeney, who's been taking over the internet the past, I would say like 6 months since like Anyone But You, I guess, or like, you know, like not even since like Euphoria. I feel like Euphoria, not many some people spoke about it, but now everybody's like huge Sydney Sweeney fan. And they see a picture of Sydney Sweeney on Instagram or Twitter, and they'll just be like, "This is the picture you look at while you're like at war, and you remember what you're doing this for." I think that's the most hilarious comment because it's so specific, and like everybody can understand that, like where it's coming from. But yeah, would Sydney Sweeney classify for anybody else as a picture you'd keep to be at war with? Again, to each their own. Obviously, mine would be Becca, of course, but but like, what celebrity or somebody on Twitter would you say is somebody that gives that aura? I've seen it with Pink Panthers too. People are like or some people like compare it to like a goddess or whatever. Like I've seen comments like that, but maybe she's fallen under that category of like going to war and having her picture like in your helmet or your pocket or whatever. One last thing I wanted to talk about, and again, I have a long list, but again, quick 30, let's stick by that rule, all right? I'll have all the time in the world to talk about everything. And I'm not sure this is the greatest episode I've ever done, ever. Obviously, desperately need Matt to come back and discuss all these things with me. Last thing I wanted to talk about, and this is kind of in regards to the sneeze thing, just things that annoy me. So yesterday I had Chick-fil-A with Becca. Here's our order if you want to know. We get the 15. No. We get the 30 piece. We share that and we share a large fry. But what happens is sometimes like when you're thinking about food, you don't know like where your stomach is in that time. Like how you're like you don't know if you're gonna be hungry after you eat it because again you're sharing something. We don't like portion it or anything. We just like go after it. Like we're not splitting 15 and 15 or anything like that. So we just go. So so at that moment I'm like I was hungry, so I wasn't sure if I was going to be more hungry. So we ended up getting like a 3-piece like tender. But then you kind of feel bad about yourself after because you're just like I didn't need that much food. But anyway, we're having Chick-fil-A. And Chick-fil-A is amongst the restaurants / fast food places that give paper straws, and they give like a thick paper straw. And just thinking about it makes me cringe. Another thing that makes me cringe is styrofoam, but that like this is the almost equal. It makes me cringe. Just putting it into the drink, awful feeling. Drinking it, letting it sit for a bit, and having that thing basically almost melt into your drink is the most disgusting thing. I'm sorry, of all time. And paper straws aren't doing. I'm not gonna say they're doing nothing, but I'm like they're saving the turtles. I get it. They're saving like wildlife in the ocean. I get it. But I've seen restaurants do like the biocompostable straws. You know what I mean? Like, and they're still like they still have that plastic feel to them, but obviously they're not plastic. But I'd rather have that over paper any day of the week, dude. Like. We know everybody hates paper straws. Why are we going to continue it? And we have alternatives to it. Why do we still do it? And by the way, for the people that advocate for the paper straws, totally get. I think we're heading out of that era currently. Like I know this, it's in these policies for these like restaurants and stuff like that. But restaurants I've pulled up to, they still use paper straws. So it's like I think we're heading out of that a little bit. So for you paper straw advocates out there. I think you might have to come out of the woodwork again and let everybody know that we need to save these turtles. And again, there's always a choice not to use a straw. But I'm gonna be real with you. Straws are like great to use. I'm just saying, like this they make the drink better. It enhances the taste. Okay, it does. But I don't know I'm not one in particular to really care if I use one or not. Obviously, I'll take if I say I got fruit punch from Chick-fil-A, I'll take the top off and just drink it like a normal person. But there's a lot of people out there that don't like doing that. I feel like I'm heading in that direction. I'm a sloppy eater, dude. I'll be drinking it, I'll spill it on myself. Don't know. I feel like I just need to intake a decent amount that goes down the gullet. Not just take sippy sips without the straw. So, yeah, if there's other options, let's not use paper. It hurts. Like, it hurts me. Even like taking the plastic off of the like to get the paper, like not plastic. The paper on top of the paper straw, getting that off makes me cringe. Sorry, not sorry. And I don't feel bad about it. And I would like to use the other options if we can. And for the places that do use them, I need to start, and I should have been doing this, marking them in my notes and like making sure that will factor into if I have to eat on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, me and Becca want to go somewhere, I should put that at the top of the list that they don't use it. Or at least they use the other option. You know what I mean? You guys have to know what I mean by that. It hurt. If there's other people out there that don't cringe at a paper straw, seriously, it could be just me. But like, Becca feels the same way, and obviously, like, not our opinions meet everybody else's opinions. That's just how I feel, honestly. Can't use paper straws. Can't do it. Can't do it. And I'd like to stray away from them as much as possible. And that's why I got to make this list and get after it. So if like we're talking Chili's, I don't know if they're still giving out papers or plastic straws or the compostable straws. Listen, I give an A++ to places that go out of their way not to use paper straws and they use the alternative option. But for the places that use plastic, it's like cool, and it's kind of like, oh great, we have plastic straws. But at the same time, you're just like, we know you're aware of this situation and what you should be using, so you feel kind of like sus about it. But at the same time, it's kind of a plus when you do have it. But if I go to a restaurant and they're giving me a paper, dude, I'm just you guys keep it. Keep it. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of That's Just Great. I don't even know what episode it is, dude. I enjoy doing this. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. That's Just Great. I'm Eric Salas. If you like the show, hit up That's Just Great Pod on Instagram and TikTok. And I'll see if I can get clips out for the show. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, follow us on there. And I believe we're on That's Just Great Pod on Twitter as well. Make sure you go do that as well. Follow us on all the socials if you can, and see some new content on there. I'm glad to be posting again, and glad to be saying stuff that I've been wanting to say. And I got more in the tank. Just give me another week or something. But yeah, can't wait to get Maddie back on this show, talk to him about some stuff as well. Hopefully we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming soon, but that'll do it for this episode. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.